They can help him apply for asylum and he'd be free to stay in New York City until his case before a judge. Victor replies that Cracovia is his home and he'd never be afraid of it. Once he's out of Frank's office, Victor runs into the flight attendant again. She is too having troubles in her love life as she's fallen for a man who's already married. They sit down and talk, and she mistakes him for a contract. The two men formally introduce themselves to each other as Amelia Warren and Victor Navorsky. Unfortunately, when Amelia invites Victor out for cannelloni at an Italian place outside the airport, Victor has to refuse since he's not allowed to outside. Amelia walks away disappointed, leaving Victor sad as well. He decides that he won't back down and have cannelloni with Amelia at the airport. Sadly, all his applications turn out to be dead ends, save for one. By a wild stroke of luck, Victor finds a job in construction at the airport. Since he has a talent for it, it ends up becoming a good fit for him. Victor also ends up making friends with the staff at the airport and regularly joins them at their poker games. Once again, Frank cannot bear Victor's happiness and decides to lock him up at a detention facility at the airport. While he's locked away, a delegation comes to visit the airport to observe how it's run. During their visit, the authorities at the airport run into an altercation with one of the passengers. As it turns out, the passenger is carrying medicine for his dying father without a prescription, and when they try to take it away from him, he goes berserk. Since the passenger speaks Russian, Frank has no choice but to bring Victor in to defuse the situation. Victor cunningly makes the man say that the medicine is for his goat, since that doesn't require a license. The authorities have no choice but to give a man his medicine back, and Victor is hailed as a hero among the airport staff. Frank is infuriated and starts taking his anger out on Victor with the delegation watching. His chances for the promotion have no doubt taken a hit. Frank makes a promise to Victor that as long as he's there, he won't allow Victor to leave. Now that he's out of the detention facility, Victor goes back to planning his dinner with Amelia. He makes the airport staff find out when she's coming back and buys a suit for the occasion. On the day she finally comes to the airport, Victor and his friends put together a dinner for him and Amelia, complete with cannelloni and a juggling show. They pour their hearts out to each other, but unfortunately, Amelia has to leave again. She tells Victor that she'll be back in 13 days, and Victor tells her that he'll be waiting. With 13 days to go, Victor puts his construction skills to use and starts putting together something for Amelia. Amid all this, Enrique finally asks Officer Torres for her hand in marriage, and they elope at the airport. 13 days go by quickly, and Amelia once again arrives at the airport. However, this time, Frank lays bare of all Victor's secrets before him. Victor did not exactly lie to Amelia, but she's still heartbroken. Victor decides to come clean with Amelia and tells her that he stuck her because he made a promise. His father was a jazz enthusiast, and after seeing a photo of all the greatest jazz musicians of his time, he spent 40 years trying to collect all their autographs. All of these were contained in the can Victor carries around. Only one of them remained, Benny Golson. Victor promised his father that he'd go to New York and take Golson's autograph, completing his father's collection. Victor tells Amelia that perhaps his father made him do this so she would find Amelia. Amelia is taken aback when she hears Victor's heartfelt confession. That, along with the 1,000 fountains he spent 13 days constructing for her, makes Amelia kiss Victor. A few days pass, and one morning, Victor's friends bring him the good news that the war in Cracovia is over. There's a huge celebration at the airport where all the airport staff has gathered. Amelia decides to visit and brings Victor a one-day emergency travel visa so he can go to New York and fulfill his father's promise. However, she had to ask her former lover for this favor, and from the looks of it, they're back together again. Frank cannot let this stand and warns Victor that if he decides to go through with this, he will make his friends at the airport pay. Feared for their livelihood, Victor decides against going to New York, but his friends persist, ultimately causing his flight to delay so he can go to New York. Victor goes to New York to secure the elusive final autograph and makes eye contact with Amelia just outside the airport. She says goodbye and smiles. After meeting Benny Golson at the Ramada Inn and getting his autograph, Victor calls a yellow cab. When the driver asks him where he's headed, Victor simply says that he's going home.